Market update here on the 8th. So straight up here on the daily, all green candles. Really boring market this week. Maybe one of the most boring weeks of the year. We did go up on Monday, but the last 2 days have been a snooze fest. I think we're in a fourth wave though here. And that's kind of what I'm expecting over the next maybe week or so. So next 3 to 5 days. So if you have puts, you might consider cutting them down here at 369 if you come down here to this demand zone. But yeah, that's what I expect in the short term. I'll go over the long term here in a second. But I was going to say on the daily time frame, when you see these kind of moves, I highly recommend to not guess the top. Because as you can see, there's so many ways to manipulate. If you look at the VIX, so the VIX has gone straight down, and what happens? They just pin it here at 1450 for all day. So if you're buying short-term options, you're getting screwed right now. So I highly recommend not to buy puts here unless you are, if you buy in this supply zone, then maybe. But even then, you want to kind of see what the move's doing before you buy and wait for a pullback. You want to see this and then buy the retrace. Because then you have a stop loss. Right now, you don't have a stop loss. What's your stop loss? If you're buying right here, where is your stop loss at? You don't have a stop loss. It could go up here to 380 and you're like, oh, it's going to go down eventually. You don't have a stop loss. So that's kind of my recommendation on these kind of moves. Obviously, it's a stupid move, and market doesn't normally move like this, but yeah, that's my thoughts on it. So long term, though, I think this could be a running flat still. Or it's a really strange WXY move. And that's a first wave. We don't know, and so it's kind of stupid. It's kind of dumb to even go over like projections, but that's kind of what I do, so I'm going to go ahead and do it. So again, you're just waiting for a pullback. Are we going to get this pullback? Or are we going to get a move like that? We don't know yet, and so I wanted to go over that, but kind of a shorter time frame because, it's just kind of guessing right now. The only thing we know right now is we're in an impulse move higher. Probably going to be in a fourth wave tomorrow. I expect a decent dip tomorrow. And then a fifth wave higher up here to 376. You got supply zones right here. If we come up here, maybe start a put position around there because you do have this supply zone. You're filling the gap. But be aware that it could go to 382. So that's QQQ. Let's go over SPY. So SPY is a little bit different. You can't see it on SPY very well. Let's try 45 minute. On SPY, I think that it looks like a B wave to me as well. Come back down here maybe to 435, maybe down here to the very bottom of this. And I could be wrong too on SPY. It's kind of interesting. We held the top right here. And then we still have not filled this gap, 438.50. So again, that's kind of a sign that we're probably going to go higher before we go down. And so if we pull back here again to 435, 440, 434 tomorrow, that's just going to be a buy the dip right there. I think this is probably the A wave down, B wave, C wave right there. And then go higher up here to probably 438 to 442. So on SPY, it's a little bit different, but with QQQ, I think that this is probably More than likely, if it's the same pattern as QQQ, I would expect this to be A, B, and a C wave down here, and maybe they'll actually get their 400 test before the end of the year. I don't know about the end of the year. Let's see here. July 26th. This might take and also this can also be wave 1, wave 2, you know, and could be a nested wave 3. So you got to watch out for that as well. Anyway, again, the projections in the long term, we have to wait and see what happens, but this has a little bit more upside. Apple, so we got a 5-wave move, then we got a wave here. We got an ABC move here, in my opinion. Let's actually see what the parallel lines are showing. Pretty much came down here to the very bottom of it. So I think this is probably A, B, and we're working on a C wave. If we zoom in here, my count is 1, 2, 3, 4, potentially 5th wave up here. So I don't think this move's done, and it could change tomorrow if we get a big move down, but I think that they're going to make you wait for at least another 5, 6, maybe even another week, maybe in Opex. You might have another 7 days of this. So I wouldn't be buying puts yet. I'd be waiting for a 4-hour or daily red candle, which on Apple you have not gotten that yet either. And yeah, look for more upside on Apple. This can go anywhere from 0.78 fib all the way up here to 206. That's not going to happen, but maybe these gap fills here at 190. Okay. NVIDIA. So NVIDIA is probably in the same pattern as the rest of them. Again, another explosive move off the lows. This did look like a 5-wave move, but now I'm looking at it on here, it looks to me like it's probably some kind of corrective move. So A, B, C. That's my thoughts on it right now. So this would end up being overall A, B, and we get a C wave down here. However, again, we have to wait for the pullback on this move. So obviously another crazy move from NVIDIA, and which one I should have been buying, to be honest. 395 was my target for such a long time, and I didn't look at the stock until I did this video. 395 would have been an amazing buy. Right on the parallel line, you can see it hit it perfectly, and then just blast off like, what is this, like almost 20%? It's crazy. So I think they're all in C waves in my opinion, and I think we're going to get a big move lower. Whether it's a corrective move, even if it's a corrective move, it's a second wave, you're still looking at a pullback all the way here to 428 to 419. So get ready here soon, probably after Opex or maybe early next week for the top of the market. And let's go over some more. Microsoft. So if we're in the same pattern here with Microsoft, this would be ABC again. However, it hit the 1.61 fib today and went higher. So again, this could be a weird C wave right here, and this could end up being a wave 1. If it's a wave 1, then it's probably going to go to 380 because you have 1, 3, 4, something like that. I think it's already crossed outside the parallel line, but yeah, easily. So the 1.61 fib is sitting around 370. So if this is a B wave, then I would potentially think 370 is possible. I guess this could be ABC right here, and then this could be ABC as well. But either way, I think there's more upside on Microsoft. Same kind of idea as QQQ and SPY. I'm looking for potentially a pullback to this gap fill at 357. That'd be about a 2% drop on Microsoft, but it's heavily overbought. So a small pullback and then higher probably. All right, let's go over Amazon. And I'm going to go over the most important part that I noticed today here in a second. So Amazon, again, another ABC move in my opinion. They're trying to trick you. ABC up here to 145. Almost there. And then this would end up being, let's see, 145. This would end up being just an ABC move. So A, B, probably down here to 115, like that. So it's a very complex, tricky move. That's kind of what I see the most likely, though. Google. So Google, it might just be in a normal, let's zoom in here a little bit. So this is probably a expanded flat right here, and then this is a B wave. Google has a chance to get up here to 139 though. You got that gap up there. Maybe it only goes up here to 135. It is a supply zone right there. The actual real gap is right here though at 140. So if Google pulls back tomorrow, that might be a decent buy. Regardless, it's a pretty good buy overall. But if it pulls back tomorrow, like the rest of them, then you might be able to get like 3 or 4% on Google over the next like week. So that's Google. Let's go over Tesla. Tesla's been very frustrating. So many false breakouts. So annoying. I think that maybe even wave 1 is finished here. It's kind of hard to say. I was in and out of calls. I have puts right now. I was in and out of calls, and then at the end of the day, I ended up selling my shares. I didn't make that much money on them. I bought them like around 220 and sold them around like, I didn't make very much at all actually. But the reason why I sold them is because I think that this is a B wave. So it did come up pretty high, but I think this can be not a B wave, it can be a wave 2. So it looks to me like a WXY move. I think tomorrow we could see a little bit higher, but I don't see it breaking above this. And if it is, I'm looking for this. And this would be, it doesn't have to go that low. It could just go down to 212. And this could end up being an ABC move too. But if it goes to the 1.61 fib, we're talking about probably 208. So that would make it over here on like Monday the 13th. But that would be about a 5% move down. And then let's go over the bullish possibility, which I think is least likely. I have it right here. If this is wave 4 right here, then this would actually be a nested move. It would be 1, 2. I have it drawn out here. And we'd be heading to 240. So this would end up being 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. pullback, fifth wave up here to the gap fill at 240. So there is a possibility of that, considering all the other tech stocks are probably going higher. This could end up doing this too. Watch it. This is a 5-wave move right here, which I think it's. I didn't think it was, but maybe it is. It's kind of hard to tell on low time frames. Then I would be looking for a pullback here tomorrow to maybe 220, 219, maybe even 218. And that could be a second wave. That would be a really complex one, though. At some point, on these kind of moves, at some point, we're going to have to see a move that just takes off. These moves are too slow and too choppy. That's why I'm leaning towards the downside. But again, it is Tesla, and we've had so many false breakouts and so many weird moves that either one is possible. I'm just leaning towards a downside short term. If that happens, then this would end up being A, B, and probably a C wave up here. Could be a third wave as well. It's kind of hard to say right now. But with the overall market, I would lean towards ABC. We zoom out here, though. That's going to make it a really, really weird move. Because then you're looking at this as, it could even be a wave 1, wave 2, wave 3. There's so many different possibilities at that point. So let's just stick to the smaller time frames. I'm looking for a pullback tomorrow, more than likely over the next couple of days. And then there is the bullish possibility as well. The bullish possibility, I don't know. Let's just look at the time length too. This only took 4 days. And then this is taken, tomorrow will be 4 days. So we'll see what happens. If we get a big move down tomorrow, then I would probably be buying the dip on Tesla, because that would complete ABC, and then we can go higher. So that makes a lot of sense. So that is Tesla. And now let's get to the main one that I was going to talk about that kind of tells me where the market's probably going, the dollar. So the dollar. In the video the other day, I said that we needed to see a 5-wave move down to solidify the top. And we have not gotten that. We have gotten a corrective move. We got A, B, C, came back into the first wave. So that means regardless, even if we do this, we're going higher. So that means we can go all the way up here now to potentially, depending on what this could be a fourth wave, I guess. We could go all the way up here to 110. We've already hit the 1.23 fib, so the next level will be 110. So again, this could end up being a more corrective move, though. It could end up going like that and then going higher. But as long as this is not an impulse move for the C wave down, I think we're going higher on the dollar. So that just means that the market is going to probably dip. You got the VIX sitting here in a demand zone as well. So you can see here, we're getting closer to the top, but I think they're probably going to drag it out a little bit longer. On the daily time frame, you can see here, this is 5 waves. We haven't gotten our fourth wave yet. So the VIX can go like that. So you can see if the VIX goes up to like 16, 17, we can pull back a little bit and then go lower. So you can see I pretty much laid out the thesis there. Probably going to be higher over the next week or so, and then after that we should see a nice pullback. So that's it for this video. If you liked it, hit the subscribe button and give me a like, and let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think we're going to top out this week, or are we going to go higher next week? All right, that's it. Have a good night. I'll talk to you tomorrow.